Hi, I'm going to read word for word from a BBC website article, so I'll link it in the description down below so you can check it out for yourself. But it says this: the UK's weekly applause for frontline workers tackling the coronavirus outbreak has had its moment and should end next Thursday, the woman behind it has suggested. It would be beautiful to end Clap for Carers after its 10th week and make it an annual event, Anne-Marie said. She said the public had shown our appreciation and it was now up to ministers to reward key workers. The government has said it is considering how best to do so. The event originally began as a one-off to support NHS staff on the 26th of March, 3 days after the UK went into lockdown. However, after proving very popular, it was expanded to cover all key workers and has continued every Thursday at 8 p.m. with people peering out of their windows or standing on their doorsteps to show their appreciation by clapping, cheering, banging saucepans and playing instruments. Dutch-born Londoner Miss Plaz, who is credited with starting the nationwide applause, told BBC Radio 2's Jeremy Vine show that it was inspired by similar events in the Netherlands and around the world. But, she said, because this is the 9th time and next week will be 10 times, I think that it would be beautiful to be the end of the series. From that point, she said maybe it should stop and then move on to an annual moment, noting that other opinions are starting to rise to the surface. She added, "So I feel like this had its moment and then we can adapt. Let's continue to do something else." The applause has been called into question in recent weeks. Some NHS staff have said they felt stabbed in the back by people breaking lockdown guidelines to hold street parties or flock to the beach. Others have suggested the NHS would benefit more from extra funding rather than applause, while Labour leader Sir Keir Starmer has said many key workers are overlooked and underpaid. Ms Plaz says she feels that people have shown key workers their appreciation and it's now the responsibility of the people that are in power to reward and give them the respect they deserve. In a later interview she added, "Without getting too political, I share some of the opinions that some people have about it becoming politicised. I think the narrative is starting to change and I don't want the clap to be negative." On Wednesday, Prime Minister Boris Johnson said ministers were thinking how to recognise the work of healthcare staff, of carers, of many others. It followed a pledge by Health Secretary Mr Hancock last week to fight to get nurses a fair reward for their work tackling the outbreak. Well, that's the end of the article. I hope that you have been able to join in the applause, on the street or from your window. On our street, it's been a rare communal expression of our indebtedness to those often unseen people keeping us safe and holding the fabric of our lives together. It has also been a show of united determination to get through, and yes, the chance to see one another, wave, holler a greeting, and then return home to the words, "See you next week." If you are a key worker, I hope you have felt the love, the respect and the gratitude from us to you. If you have worked in the myriad expressions of the NHS, the emergency services, public transport providers, mortuary or funeral staff, waste disposal industry, food retail industry, delivery drivers, teachers and support staff, and so many more, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. But now, here's a thought. What are we going to do instead of clapping on a Thursday evening? Can you write, tweet, Facebook or email your MP and the PM to make sure that Mr Johnson goes from thinking about recognising healthcare staff, carers and many others to acting on those thoughts? Can you do likewise with Mr Hancock, the Health Secretary, until he is victorious in his fight to get nurses a fair reward for their work? I'm not sure who he feels he needs to fight to get that reward. I can't imagine a single person with a beating heart that is likely to stand in his way. so it should be pretty straightforward for him. Could we commit to spending a few moments remembering those we have lost to COVID-19, our loved ones, the unknown stranger, the key workers? Could we commit to doing something, offering something, being somehow more neighbourly once a week? The VE Day socially distanced street parties were so well received. What can you do to sustain that spirit? Are we keen to see, as has been suggested, an annual communal recognition and public expression of gratitude? Can you galvanise thinking and planning towards that where you live? Every Thursday at 8 o'clock for the last 9, soon to be 10 weeks, we have applauded those who have sacrificed themselves for us. Every Thursday for the next 10 weeks, let us make sure that their sacrifice is honoured. Stay safe, live love.